you?
I'm good.
All right, I'll call this meeting of the Brown County Commission to order. Ms. Bryn is going to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, would ya?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you much. Thank you, Bryn. First on the agenda this morning, 8:45, we've got bids for road oil for the highway. Good morning, Dirk. How are you?
Madam Chair, if I can interrupt for just a minute, I'd like to introduce Dave Seaman, a Walworth County Commissioner, was elected last week as Chair of the Walworth County Commission, and has driven over to sit in and watch how we do things today. So welcome, Dave.
Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for coming.
Picked a beautiful day.
I knew Doug was gonna ask me what we paid for road oil last year, so
It was coming. Right there.
how's it going?
Doug, this is Bryn.
Right away. Yeah. Had to give her a piece of candy to talk to me.
Really?
Notice to asphalt road oil suppliers, field vehicle will increase in the chambers of Brown County Commission, Courthouse Annex 70 South Dakota until the hour of 8:45 a.m. on Tuesday, January 10, 2017. At the time and place, all bids will be publicly open, read, and considered for furnishing and delivery of asphalt road oil, FOB, freight prepaid on all truck transport delivery sites within Brown County. No depositor bid bond will be required. Performance bond will be required. Brown County will give notice to the successful bidder that his proposal has been accepted. The said bidder shall within 20 days thereafter enter into a contract with Brown County and furnish a performance bond in accordance with the bid as accepted. Contract for road oil shall be firm and will be in effect for a period of 1 year from April 1, 17 to March 31, 18. And then there's just some other stuff for payments and that. That's the basics.
All right, we got a bid.
One. Let me guess, from Jebro.
One's better than zero, and yes, it's from Jebro. Really? What's your birthday month?
March.
March? Okay, let's see, the first item on the list here, I don't know if I got it in the right order on the sheet, is the MC70 oil. And that's $7.36 a ton. So it looks like we dropped back to 2015 on that one.
Pretty close, yeah.
Pretty close, yeah.
MC3000, which is the one that we use the most of, is $5.31 a ton. Oh, I guess that could be worse. And then the CSS1H is $4.59 a ton. We didn't use enough to go over the bid limit of that stuff in 2015, so I didn't have a number on it. I didn't dig out the number on it. I don't see anything too out of whack. The reason that the MC70 costs more than the 3000, there's more petroleum product in there. It's cut with diesel fuel, and that costs more, so that's why you have such a difference in there. But other than that, I see no reason why not to accept the bids. It's the same supplier we've had the last 2 years, and their customer service has been exemplary. In 2 years, we haven't missed a load.
Are they the primary supplier for most counties?
It is them, and Flint Hills is the other one, and it's basically some people that are a little closer to Brook, or actually the terminals in Marshall for Flint Hills. So there, if you draw a line through the counties, it's just a geography thing on who's more competitive. My argument for going with Jebro is if we miss one load and everybody's sitting out there, it's about a $17,000 hit when we're chip sealing. And we've had that happen too many times, and the responsiveness of Flint Hills is I have 15 years of track record, and I have no issue with having one bidder and going with Jebro at all, so.
Where are they based out of again?
Two of these products, the 70 and the 3000 come out of Corson, down by Sioux Falls. The CSS 1H comes out of Sioux City.
I would move we accept Jebro's bids.
I'll second
Okay, we've got a motion from Fishback, second from Hanson. Any other questions on those? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
I can figure out if we budgeted enough money now that I know what stuff costs.
Makes the
Good luck
leader.
with that.
A little backwards. Yeah, I'll keep that.
Keep it and just make more copies.
Budgets are always a guessing game when you do it, when you're doing it.
Well, thank you very much.
Yep.
Next on the agenda, 850, we've got ordinance 107. We got to amend Title 16. This is the second reading and possible adoption. Is there any discussion on that?
I'll move it.
We've got a motion from Sutton on the floor. Anybody else?
Second.
Second from Hanson. Everybody get a chance to read through that?
The
Get any-
initial collection of fair
You can
revenue,
take that, look at
is there any type of time frame that should be involved there? Because, I mean, if we started back in middle of December selling tickets, when is it gonna be, when is the receipts and stuff gonna be done? Is it gonna take 6 months, or are we gonna have the same thing as last year? Should there be some kind of a time frame, whether it be 60 days or 30 days, or, because the way I read it, it's kind of wide open. I mean, that could mean it could take 6 months to get the revenue started generating.
And you're on 16.03.04?
Right.
Second page?
That was just, I looked at that and I thought, well,
And I think you brought this up last time we looked
right,
at this,
the
too.
time frame is, there just seems like there should be some kind of a time frame where those receipts should be done. I mean, any type of county business we do, we don't hang it out for 3 months, 4 months. I mean, there should be some kind of a, and I don't wanna put it down to such a criteria that it's not manageable either, but there should be some kind of a,
What would you suggest?
My suggestion, if you don't mind, is this was, I think these are the general guidelines, and then it clearly provides that the commission by resolution can adopt a whole series of operating procedures. And I would suggest that if you want to set some specific time frames, that would be the place to do it, because those can be changed easily from
That would work.
Do we currently have any procedures in place besides?
No, we don't, and we've been having money flow into my account since early December, whenever you passed that, and I have absolutely no receipts. So it's, you know, it's the same thing as last year. The
Need that
money's there, and there's no accounting for what it is.
some kind of a time frame, and we could, you know, Larry brings a good point up, rather than put it in this.
And my suggestion is, you know, if you pass this and we get past the 20 days and it becomes an ordinance, then the next step is to immediately develop those policies and procedures well in advance of, you know, this next fair.
We need to get that on the agenda then pretty quickly and get that done in order, so it's not too extended.
Yeah, and that's the sort of thing that needs input from the fair manager and the auditor and the treasurer and everybody to kind of come up with a set of working rules that's going to meet everybody's needs. And then, you know, at the end of each fair, you'll go through them and say, yeah, this worked pretty good, this didn't work, and you'll make further adjustments until you get something that kind of meets everybody's needs over the long term.
Sounds
If you do
good.
that, I have no problem.
Is that reasonable?
Yeah, that's,
Okay, any other questions on that ordinance?
Take that home.
Seeing none, I'd entertain a motion to approve it.
Okay.
I'll move it.
Moved by Feldheim,
Second.
seconded by Hanson. Any other discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Hadn't I already made a motion?
Did you? I did.
I think the motion second had already been made.
Yeah, it has.
Was it?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, take the first one.
Sutton Hanson.
There you go. I apologize. All right, that brings us to...
See, Dave, how you do that?
Yeah. What not to. 8:55, Dirk is back with set bid dates for hot mix rental equipment and gravel materials. You're back.
Am I back?
You're back.
Sure, good to see you.
Good to see you guys. Anything exciting happen while I was gone?
Yeah, I made a big blunder and you missed it.
Oh, dang it.
You checking out the tape?
Awesome. What are these?
You're setting some bid dates, huh?
Yep, I need to set the bid dates for hot mix, rental equipment, and gravel materials. Max, I don't care when it is, whenever's
Okay,
the next, so.
okay. Okay, probably mid-February?
Sure.
Valentine's Day?
Oh.
Hot mix on.
Based on the luck I've had on Valentine's Day over the years, I don't know if that's a good call or not.
Let's go for the 21st. We don't need any high.
Okay,
All right.
February 21st, and then I'll give you the times and...
And I'll get you the docs.
We'll look from those guys.
And so then we'll publish the 8th and the 15th, unless you want to publish, we can publish earlier if you want, maybe on the rental of equipment to give them more time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we can well,
We could publish.
let's publish them all, just, I mean, what's reasonable to get you the stuff. I don't care. It doesn't bother me though if we have it a little earlier, so they do, like you say, they have a little more time.
Word of mouth.
The 1st and the 8th,
Okay,
and that gives, 1 week leeway in case anything unusual happens.
all right. I'll get the stuff put together after we get the times and get it all to you.
Yeah. Because your specs, they're pretty much,
It's just changing the dates and the time from last year. I made a couple changes, but it's nothing major, just took some stuff out.
yeah. And we could do it the end of January too. Or the 1st of February.
Yeah.
We could,
End of January, give them more time. Maybe with more time, they'll cut the corners a little
That's
bit better
true.
for us.
So if I get you stuff by Friday this week,
we could publish, well, Friday, I'd need it Thursday to publish next week. You don't want
I
them
know.
to get busy either.
Yeah, I know.
What did you publish on the 25th and the 1st, and we'll do it on the 7th,
Okay.
or the 21st. 21st still works, yeah.
I'd rather go earlier.
21st.
I'd rather give them more
Let's just
time
do-
to
Does the 7th give us enough
get
time
their
to do
pencil
everything?
sharpened.
Yeah.
Let's do the 7th.
To open bids on the 7th?
Yep.
Okay.
So published on the 25th and the 1st.
Yep.
Okay, motion for that, right?
I'll move it.
Moved by Sutton, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Feldheim, we're gonna go ahead and publish January 25th, February 1st, and open them on February 7th. Any questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Equipment purchases.
I'll come back to that, if that's all right. I would like to recommend buying milling services off of our own bid from last year. Their price isn't gonna change, so it just cuts out the middleman, and I talked to legislative audit to make sure that was cool. But it's the same as if you buy a piece of equipment that we bid a year ago and it's not expired yet, it's just the same process, so I would recommend that we do that. And Maxine, here's a packet, I don't know what we need for that.
I probably still have it from
I would assume you got all that.
last year.
Okay, anytime you say milling, you gotta give us a heads up where we're headed this year.
Okay,
Spots or just a whole big stretch?
so I have my 17 map in here. I made a couple small changes, just let me think quick. That behind you, Kurt. I'm trying to think if we're leaving any of them gravel though, is what I'm trying to think of here.
Might they just be prepped to read?
It's, yeah, 'cause I know we're gonna do 20, I'm gonna try to do 21 over here, and 18 from that bridge up here down to 21. Those are gonna be put back to try to be a blotter and see if I can get that to hang in there on those 2 miles. So those will get milled up, but that's gonna end up being a blotted surface by the end of the season. I gotta be careful, but I can't think anything off the top of my head that we're gonna mill up and leave gravel next year.
How have you been feeling on that, Elm Lake Road was the guinea pig when you kinda first did that?
Good.
Hold up?
Yep. I think it has. It's not the, you know, we did it up there because you got a little less, grain production. You know, only half the road has beans and corn on it, and the other half's kind of pasture, so that helps a little bit. But yeah, I've been kind of happy. I'm not real excited about the chemical, one of the 2 chemicals we used in there, the additives, but it was all right, and it's held up so far. The other spot's north of Columbia on 20. We did some of that to blotter, and a piece we did south of Houghton. Half of it's paved, half of it's blotter with the same base underneath it, so I could see kind of a little comparison spot there. So most of what we need the milling for this year is going to be stuff that's getting it prepped to put it back to something else.
Okay.
Any chance 6 is on the agenda? I've had some guys call me on Road 6
Yeah.
out of Richmond because they're
You're talking
going over to the elevator there.
You're talking north of the lake?
Well, 10 all the way, 6, 10?
This one?
Yep.
That's one that it'll probably get milled up, but I think it's going to get put back to...
So we have to hire the milling, or we do it?
It depends on how long it is and how busy they are and all that kind of thing. In addition to that, we're going to be doing, I don't have it on here, but there's probably 3 or 4 miles we're going to do ourselves as part of maintenance work in between stuff. But you're talking 6 north of Richmond,
Yep.
and then going from 9 up to 10.
Right.
Those are 2 that'll get milled up. The one north of Richmond might stay gravel. That'd be the most likely one that's going to stay gravel, and part of that's because it's already got so much gravel on it. This one up here, if you have to start putting gravel on there, we're going to get a lot of gravel, or it's not like this one where you got 3 miles completely covered. They're shorter pieces, so that, you know, it might not be, from an economic standpoint, to put another 10,000 tons of gravel in there and mill it up. It might not pencil out.
Well, that 10 you did really turned out nice. You
Yeah.
know, it was rough for the first couple of weeks, but boy, I'll tell you, it's probably as good as gravel road you're gonna find in the county.
Yeah, we've had that one, and and I'm not speaking to how people feel about it emotionally, okay? I'm talking about how the road performs. But the other one is that 16 north of 10 that we milled, that is really ended up being a really nice gravel road when we were done, so.
All right, any other questions for Dirk on the milling?
So how old is our miller, what, 2 years old, or? when we get
Well, we got that right after I started, so we would be going into our 4th season
Really?
of
Well, that
it.
stuff gets old fast, huh? Everything worked well?
Oh, yeah, it's great.
It's been good?
Very happy with it. I can't speak to the number of hours on the top of it, but I know at the end of the 2nd year, we hit the break-even point with hiring it done, so.
It's making us money now.
Tom.
Well, let's not get
Tom,
carried
that's a
away,
razor
but...
on there, Tom. That's a razor.
Oh, that's kinda sharp
Yeah,
there.
it's pretty short.
Then I'd feel bad.
All right, I'd entertain a motion to purchase
They don't
that
have
milling
any sharp
service off the
shoulders.
2016 bid.
Move it.
That's the interest. Moved by Feldheim.
Second.
Seconded by Hanson. Any other questions on that? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Now equipment purchase.
Yep. I got 400,000 in there when I put the budget together for equipment purchases. The big item this year that I would like to recommend purchasing is a new blade, be another John Deere blade, and that we buy it off the Minnesota State bid, which I know you guys did with the case loader a while back. I've never experienced it myself, so I'm probably gonna have to sit with Max to get her the right paperwork and stuff. It doesn't seem like it's too complicated. I do have a little packet from Jerry I can give you, but I don't know if everything's there that you're looking for.
Steering wheel, right.
It's the steering wheel, yep. Yeah.
You know how much they are?
300 and, yeah. I'd make a comment about a combine or something, but I probably shouldn't.
That's not a wise
Yeah. This one will be $320,557.83.
Oh, sake.
Yeah, and those are, and you moved to the all-wheel drive machines between the time I was here before and now, which is fine, it was a good move. But, you know, I think the last blade we got before was maybe $1.80, you know, so that's gone up substantially. I mean, when I was here before, you know, the last one we bought was like $3.14 or whatever. So...
So you had on here, you wanted to discuss it, are you still kind of doing some feeling out for different places, or you know what you want?
I know that that's what I want.
Is there any option to lease a piece of equipment that's not
Yep.
feasible, or is it?
There is.
We have leased in the past.
And we did do some stuff earlier. I'm not a huge fan of obligating future commissions and future budgets. We were in some different total cost programs, and if we were in a situation where we had to get two, if we weren't keeping up on working the hours through and updating them and doing maintenance and stuff, and you ran into a situation where you had to try to buy two of these in 1 year, then I think you would probably want to look at something like that. Now, and other counties have completely different ways of doing that, you know. I don't know, you guys run Caterpillar up there? And I think they did away with the buyback on those, but there's, all different counties have different ways of doing that. McCook County buys 2 plow trucks every other year, and they just, it doesn't matter what's happened in between, and that's how they just keep their thing going, and they have it planned in, and they know what the cost, and so, I gave you a long, drawn-out, rambling answer, but, yeah, you can, but you know, it's not something that, unless we're totally really in a bind, I don't like to do that. So no, with that, I would recommend and ask for a motion to, or whatever you gotta do so that we can buy this blade off the Minnesota State bid.
Okay, I'd authorize a motion to go ahead and purchase that.
I'll move that we approve the purchase.
Second.
Moved by Sutton, seconded by Fishback. Any other questions on it?
Will there be a surplus blade coming off that then?
Yep, there will be the old Plinko machine, our blades will fall down the chain here, but Mike is gonna take our Champion, which has about 11,000 hours on it. He's gonna take that out to the landfill. Maxine, when we get it figured out, I'll make sure that we're work through the transition, because I know that sometimes you're going, would you guys quit moving equipment around? But, and then he's got, I believe it's either a 72 or 74 Cat out there, old blade that we've had forever, and that one will go on surplus most likely. And that's actually an item we could sell at our own surplus sale and do as well as we would paying somebody to sell it nationwide. You're only gonna go so far to haul a $20,000 blade home, so.
So then the surplus off that blade will come back to the highway?
Yeah, it'll depend on what we work out with Mike, because the surplus that we're gonna get back for the Cat's gonna be about half of what this blade that's going to Mike's worth, so we'll work through
Figure
that.
something out.
Yeah. That's the purchase that I needed actual action on.
Okay, we've got a motion and a second on the floor. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Go ahead.
Couple other items that we're gonna buy, or I would like to buy. One is a side dump pup. It goes behind our existing side dumps. It's about $36,000, and it'll hold about 12 to 14 ton. It's the same as a tandem truck. Originally, when I came back, I wanted to get a double, you know, a big side dump with two trailers, like a lot of the locals are running now, and it's $180,000 for that setup. And then we bought the belly dump off the Fauquier County bid for $54,000, and that added some capacity. The one thing we didn't replicate with the belly dump is hauling rip-rap and the kinds of things that you haul on a side dump. But since we already have the 2 lead trailers, I just want to add a pup trailer behind one of them. And like I said, it's $36,000, so that's something I'd like to purchase. And a magnet, getting a new magnet. I tell you what,
I don't need it anymore.
I understand, but it's not. We had another area too that we had some calls about, so we're just gonna put another one in the process.
2 magnets were out. Why isn't it working as good?
I think it's just, there's a problem, we're putting it in a different spot, because if the material ends up on top of the steel, sometimes the magnet won't pull it back out of the steel. So we got one that's like a pre-magnet, and then a magnet for later on. So they wear out. These are electromagnets, they're not just normal magnets. I've seen guys, there actually was at the Region 8 conference, a guy had just a normal magnet, and they mount it on the back of their blade, and then they go along, and I sitting here, okay, that's great, because they're showing the magnet with all the stuff on there, but it's a magnet, you know, electromagnet, you flip a switch and all the stuff falls off. A regular magnet, you gotta go out there, and they picked it off piece by piece. I said, geez, I don't know if we want to do that. But
So what's the magnet cost?
$22,000.
And do you have vendors that you
Yep.
price check both those pieces of?
Yep.
How wide are they?
There's all, however you big you want it, but this one I believe is a 4x8, 4x8 deal. And, there's a couple other pieces that we've been renting the last couple years, roller for chip sealing and a conveyor. And if I can find those used somewhere, rather than to keep paying the rent every year, we might get them. If that is the case, I would use the rental, the money from the rental line item would offset if we did purchase them.
Because you still have about 21,000 in that one.
Yeah.
What can I do with it?
Yeah, doesn't mean we have to spend every penny on that, but we'll, just in general, I've been trying to slowly update a few things, but, our chip spreader's a 1974, it works fine. Our newest roller was Brookings County, before this one we rented last year, the newest roller we used was Brookings County surplus that we bought in '04. So in '04, Brookings County got rid of it.
1904?
No, it's a horse-drawn one. Our oil storage tanks are 60 years old. There's one of those that's 10 years old that's gonna come up surplus from the state. There's some things like that they're little unique items. If the opportunity comes up and they're surplus and it's the right price, there's some of those types things that we might add in. Our paver, we did a major overhaul on it last year, but it's a 1990. You know, so there's a lot of those specialty items per se that are getting up there in years, and we may have to look at trying to update them. The one good thing is depreciation-wise, they're not worth anything, so we can just use them as long as we can for it.
Sounds good. Well, I'd entertain a motion at $36,000 for that side dump pump and the $22,000 magnet. Moved by Feldheim.
Second.
Seconded by Fishback. Any questions on those two purchases?
No.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Is that all I said I was gonna talk about now?
Yep, unless you got something else.
Nope, unless you guys got something else.
Oh, I think so. Appreciate you coming in.
All right.
Y'all
Thank you
pushed the
much.
snow this morning? or-
Yeah, this morning I wish, I got up at 3 and it wasn't really snowing, and then, so, it's good in a way, 'cause we're here, but, yeah, it would've been the perfect deal. It starts at midnight, quits at 5, and you go plow it out and everybody. But I was complaining the other day about the rain and just saying, why can't we just get normal snow, and then now we got normal snow, so.
You're welcome. That was the big guy.
There's like nuisance snows this year.
Oh, yeah.
Like the way
Yeah, you wouldn't believe the colorful ways the people out at Richmond can describe my incompetence. It's impressive.
All right, thanks, Dirk. Next on the agenda, we got Paul Stevenson, CIO, purchase equipment. How are you, Paul?
Right on time, Dirk.
Huh?
I'm doing great. How are you? Great.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
This out. Came to talk about, obviously with adding all this Score 9 and all the documents we're moving to electronic over over paper, we're gonna need more storage, which I budgeted for. I budgeted $85,000 for a new sand, additional sand. The one I'd like to purchase is $41,000 for 220 terabyte of usable space. That's the RTI bid that's on top. If you look at the connection bid and flip the page over, the backside you see I have it highlighted. That's the closest thing they have at 60,000 to the same capacity. So it's about 20 grand cheaper. We need the storage, we need a place to put everything as we grow. So, there's an item I budgeted for, but I thought 40,000 probably should get suspended 30 to 40.
Have you used RTI before?
Yeah, they're Riverside Technologies, they do a lot with, the state and a lot of county governments out of Sioux Falls.
Quite a bit.
I think that's where we bought our last group of servers from, our guy, as a matter of fact.
And that's permanent space.
Yes.
It's not like you're renting or leasing the time.
No, but this is permanent space, and then, you know, with the additional video we're storing from the jail for requests, you know, it's just a bunch. You'd spend in hard drives and put it all somewhere.
So that's just the equipment, there's no installation or any type of warranty type thing, or that's on that?
Yeah, it's 5 years.
5 year warranty.
And you can install this yourself?
Yep, it just goes in one of our racks on the server room.
Okay.
We purchased one 2 years ago for our virtual machines. A little bit, quite a bit smaller, I think that was only 27 terabyte for about the same money. So that's how much they're coming down. You know, terabytes are getting cheaper to buy, so.
I move it, that we go with the RTI.
Okay, we've got a motion on the table from Hanson, is there a second?
Second.
Second from Sutton. Any other questions for Paul on that? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. When will we get it?
Board it this week, a couple weeks, it usually takes, but to figure them out. I have a second item, which we've discussed a few times, but, I got some quotes on some services for the commissioners. Well, let's go into the electronic document management and, all these other things. It seems like you guys are getting more and more of a need to have access to this stuff. And I prefer it on a piece of county equipment for security reasons.
Me too.
So if we put y'all a Surface, I've got 6 here, one for each commissioner, one for the commission assistant. I have enough room in my budget to purchase these out of the IT budget and just assign them to commissioners as they're elected and as they're removed. You know, so, I mean, it's not I can cover my budget. I got a quote from Connection, which used to be Gov Connection. They've combined and changed their name. Then RTI also, the two that came back with comparable quotes. They're close, but they're $300 cheaper to go through Connection. And that's for the Surface, the keypad. Those are Surface Pros 4s with the typing pad like mine.
Like mine?
Yep, they're a little bit bigger. They're a little bit bigger screen than your iPad, but then we'll do
You said they are touchscreen?
They are touchscreen, plus they have the typing pads. You can use them as a tablet or a laptop. The keypad just snaps on and off of them.
There's a switch right here to
No, on the Surface, there's no switch. It's just, they just pop. They're magnetically held on. And then we'll put a VPN on, so anywhere you have internet, you can get to your county stuff. If you're at a meeting or you're doing a presentation, whatever, you'll have what you need from the county. Plus, when you're here, you can eliminate bringing so much paper, and you guys will have it right on your little screens. So, I think we've talked about it about every year, and I think it's time with the electronic documentation coming in that we make that move.
What's the life of these? I mean,
5 years. You know, if you don't, you know, obviously if a day like today, drop it out in the snow for...
No, I mean normal.
But no, they're...
I mean, it doesn't drop it.
They're good to the point they're true laptop replacements. You know, they're a little pricey and they'll come down over the years, but I also quoted out some HP has a comparable model of a tablet that's pretty close to Surface, but they're $1,200 instead of $1,000, so not saving anything. But
do they come with some type of protection on them, like a case or a...
Just a flip over
keypad. Oh, the flip over? Okay.
Yeah.
That's the cover black, is that the protection device that you're looking at about?
That's the keypad and which serves as a cover. They have a kickstand, so they'll stand up. You can use them like a laptop. But for security reason, I think, other than everyone having it on their personal device, we're better off having it on a county device.
Yeah.
Especially as we add all these contracts and all these other documents for you guys to look at.
Okay, any questions for Paul on that?
I'd move it.
Got a motion on the table from Hanson,
Second.
second from Sutton. Any other questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Is there another version of this that's a little bit cheaper for some of our boards? For instance, I know my weed and pest board probably wouldn't utilize this, but like zoning, they're always getting mailed the big old packet.
Okay.
But
You know, you can go down to like a Surface Pro 3 with an i3 with a lot less memory. You know, they're gen down and they're coming up with pretty reasonable pricing on them. You know, probably that $600 range,
Okay.
$550, $600 range.
Something to think about.
Yeah. You know,
I think those packets we get every month are,
they're thick, yeah.
be able to, and then they can look back on them if they need to then. Alrighty, any other questions for Paul while he's here? Do you have any other
Could
equipment?
I get, no, but could I get a quick, exec for personnel?
Okay.
Move it.
Moved by Sutton, seconded by Hanson. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Will be an executive session for personnel.
Which one?
Okay. I would entertain a motion to authorize the forming of a task force. Basically, the purpose of the task force is to look at our VC Connect that we bought here and revitalized a couple of years ago. Identify any issues that we're having. Sounds like when it comes to abatements and splitting some properties, we're having some problems with the software. Find solutions that don't adversely affect other departments. So we need to, maybe somebody from auditor's office, someone from treasurer's, if you would find a designee or yourself, whoever you think works with it most and could give us some input. Treasurers, auditors, equalization. Couple commissioners will sit on it, Nancy and I, and then IT staff. So
That's
that
a
we
long
can.
motion.
I would entertain. I would welcome that one.
I would move that motion.
Okay, motion by Feldham.
I'll second it. You're not gonna repeat that?
Seconded
No.
by- Or any additions to the motion?
No, I think the motion was to create a task force.
Yeah.
To look at taxation
Look at,
programs?
yeah, issues in DC Connect and how to fix them.
Okay.
Is that fair?
That's fair.
Okay. Any questions on the motion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Thank you much, Paul.
That's all I have,
Appreciate your
thank you.
time.
Have a good day.
Paul.
Next on the agenda, we've got Judy Dosh, Maintenance Supervisor, the LED lighting. Judy, are you with us?
He's coming.
How are you this morning?
Also here.
Morning, Judy.
Good morning. See, we have a commissioner in training, huh?
This is Brent.
What do we got going on with the lights?
Well, I was just, thinking, anyway, I was wondering, you know, we opened up the LED lighting with Ladner here, and he got the bid, you know, for the sheriff's and state's attorneys. So, you know, I had a little more money set aside in my budget than what the bid actually came in. So then I thought, okay, maybe I can, buy the lights through Ladner, and then after the project is done, and then, you know, they would put it in, because they were the low bidders. But in the bids, they don't tell me the individual prices for what a light would be. And he had told me that what he would be interested in, he would get me a price of what the lights would be if the company would give it to him. And I just didn't know if I could proceed with that.
I'm not sure what you're asking. Are you saying keeping the lights that we're taking out and replacing, or doing additional work
No.
somewhere?
Additional work, like for the First Avenue building,
Oh,
I could buy more lights under the Ladner bid,
gotcha.
and then put them out there, and then I wouldn't...
But under that bid, we don't know what the lights and the labor were, so the labor might be
Well,
less
yeah.
and the lights could be more than somebody else, so that's a
But
tough
I
thing
had
to
asked him
break
if
out in that.
he would hold that, you know, what he did
Yeah.
that, and he told me what, most definitely. So my issue was, then he can't tell me what the lighting is unless I really know how many more lights that I would want to include, and then he has to go ask the company if they will sell him like 50 more lights, or if we can buy 50 more lights for that set price.
And then you're going to install them?
No, then Ladner would install them.
I wonder if we have
I-
a whole
I-
different project that we wouldn't have to bid on.
And I'm just,
See, the problem is, we don't have, okay, in order to buy off this bid, now, I need to visit with Rod about this.
yep,
In order to buy off this bid, you'd need to know exactly what the material and labor is for each light in order, I think, in order to...
because see, Jared could give me that.
It's the only way it
But I
would work.
just-
Divide it out. Yeah.
Yep.
But
Then would we have to rebid that?
Well, how many lights are in the project over there?
Oh, they're like, I'm gonna say 400,
And how much was the project?
144,000.
And how many lights would you think on the First Avenue?
Well,
I'm just guessing.
and that's, yep, just saying, you know, I could say maybe 70, but then I go to the part where, okay, how are you guys gonna, do you foresee using the building just as it is? You know, because then I'm gonna try to like do less lights, you know, and all that kind of stuff, but some areas I'd have to put dimmers in, but are you gonna want me to put dimmers in all the areas so that whatever you use it at future use, that they are able to dim? And then, you know, I can also, because all Scott needs for his TR building is where they have their meetings, I just need these kind of lights, because I have everything else done except for the, that meeting area, the bathrooms, and then the outside lighting. I know my voice.
For the what meeting?
The TR meetings, or
The
resource.
training
The training
resource.
resource
Oh,
building,
gotcha.
yeah.
Blue
for the-
building.
Yep,
For the
yep.
cert, yeah.
Blue
so-
building,
Yep, the blue building.
So,
And I still have just like Sue's office, kind of anywhere that they would have like 4-foot or 8-foot lighting in the museum, because I have to do bulbs and stuff when they want to tell me what I need to do on the exhibits. So basically, I would have, you know, I just have those few areas yet to do. So I was just, if I have to go ahead and bid again, that's fine, but I was just wondering if there's somehow that I could, oops, I forgot my phone.
Oh, I get another $5!
So if you got the lights off of Ladner's bid, say it worked, the project down the road would then have to bid for the labor.
Now, he's gonna divide out, it would be about $360 a light, if you took the $144,000 for the project, 400 lights.
But
He's
you see-
willing to do it for roughly that, is what you're saying?
Well, he said he will do it if he can, if the company will
Get him the lights.
we'll tell him what the price of the lights are and be willing to sell them for that. But I told him, I first had to talk with you guys to see if I would even be able to do that, and just have him do the labor, because I had asked him to do the labor same as, you know, the project here.
I think we need to check with legislative
I think
audit
so,
to
too.
make sure this is
Yeah.
legal.
And I
Lot of
mean, I
gray
just, I didn't,
area.
I just didn't think that, when I was thinking of it, that, because I know I bought off the state bid, you know, but I knew what the price of the lights were at that time, you know, but
Why don't we, should we table this, and you guys wanna check?
I think so.
Check on it, yeah.
That's fine.
The point is, if you buy 400 lights, you can get kind of a unit price that's cheaper than buying 70.
Right.
And if you buy 470, then you're even better off. And so before you buy anything, you wanna see where you're at.
I do, because I didn't know how you guys were gonna be wanting to proceed with this building, and, yeah, so, I'm just,
We have a lot of unknowns here that I think we need to check out first.
Well, on First Avenue, we've got our welfare there, and the rest is
What buildings do you have
24/7,
put lights in?
but
In
I have a whole
storage.
Millen building, and
Not
that's
too worried
included,
about
like, the
that.
outside lights and the inside lights and the bathroom lights, and I have the outside lights on the TR building, and then Scott's office area and the 2 bathrooms. And over at the museum, it's like Sue's office, wherever there's a 4-foot or an 8-foot light fixture, there's not too many, because most of them are cans on the exhibits and that kind of stuff, but there is a few over there, and, like up on 3rd floor probably has more. But I mean, I can make that into one project at some point in time, if that's what we have to do. I mean, that's fine. I was just gonna check and see, so, how you guys felt and what you think I could do, or...
Sounds good, well, if you'll do a little more checking on it, and Max will help you check with legislative audit, what we can and can't do on it, and we'll take it up again?
Okay?
All right, thanks for the heads up on it. Anything
Yep.
else?
Yes, Monday at 8:30, they're gonna do the walkthrough of the jail that they're finishing right now, so if anybody would like to come, you can certainly come with us.
Monday at 8:30?
Yep, I know it's a holiday, but that's when everybody was able to do it, so.
I may be out of state, maybe.
Good.
Right, are you meeting, where are you meeting at for that?
It'd be in the jail, we'd be meeting, but if you come a little early, you can come to the office, yeah, it'd be just in the lobby of the jail, though.
Sounds good.
All
Well,
right.
thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you, Judy.
That brings us to the end of our regular agenda. Let's go to your list, Maxine.
Okay. Minutes from January 3rd joint and, general.
Motion from Fishback,
Second.
seconded from Sutton. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay.
I'll
Motion carries.
change the subject a second. Is it next Monday the governor's coming?
Yeah.
So, anybody going to that, or?
Oh, what, is that the
The
noon
noon-
chamber thing?
noon.
Not
Chamber.
noon, is it? I thought they was having a morning thing.
Maybe there's a
I
breakfast.
thought it was a breakfast.
It is a breakfast like at 8 o'clock here. I gotta look.
Where are my treasures?
I'll have to check it out.
Oh,
Governor's
Tom.
breakfast.
Yes, Bryn.
Shoots my name out.
Oh, yeah. 10,000. All right, so, yes, we approve minutes.
Okay, claims and payroll.
Move.
Second.
Motion from Sutton, seconded from Hanson. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
HR report.
Move.
Second.
Motion from Feldheim, seconded from Fishback. Any questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
There was another restricted use disposal facility permit renewal, this time for Dami Construction.
Move it.
Motion from Sutton,
Second.
seconded from Feldheim. Any questions on that permit? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Okay, the landfill, annually, they have a credit distribution report, and these are fees that for some reason or another, they weren't collected, so we need a motion to waive the solid waste fees, and the list was in the packet.
Did everybody get a chance to look at the documentation from the landfill?
Yeah, I'll move it.
Second.
Motion from Fishback, seconded from Sutton. Any questions on that? Pages? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Fourth quarter interest report from the county treasurer.
Move.
Moved by Feldheim,
Second.
seconded from Hanson. Any questions on that? $14,583,664.91. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
That wasn't the interest.
No, that's.
16,000.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Yes. Gotcha, what we have.
We
Yeah.
wish.
Didn't want them thinking.
Right, right.
We're stocking
We got
away now.
Here it is. There it is. So the interest was $16,387.46. All right.
Okay, uncollectible, did you vote on that? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, uncollectible tax, this is the 2012 air flight tax with Masaba Airlines for $12,785.03, and I believe all efforts have been exhausted to collect it.
They went into bankruptcy 4 years ago, and we had a claim in, but, you know, finally they stopped sending notices, you know, and if they haven't sent any money, that pretty much means that they're...
When they close it out, though, won't they send us a final notice that the bankruptcy's been closed?
Yeah, they may have.
And they have usually up to 5 years? Is what normally the reorganization is, or whatever they're trying to do with the proof of claims, is usually experience has been about 5 years. If it hasn't done, they then have to, the bankruptcy has to send a statement out saying that it's done. And we have not got that yet, have we?
Not that I know of.
I think up to that point, we still have a chance of getting $1.98.
Well, yeah, that's what I said you do, but it's not gonna be.
But I mean, so if we do this now, it still will preempt us from, if there would be a settlement.
You're not abating it at this point, you're just, and so I would do this, I would review it on a year-to-year basis, that's what Tricia and I talked about. If, you know, if something comes in, then you're not trying to figure out how to accept the money after you've abated the tax.
Okay.
The uncollectible amount's $12,785.03.
Do you want to wait a year?
But Larry said,
Well, the proposal today is to, what, abate it entirely?
Declare it
Well, that's what
uncollectible.
happens when you declare it uncollectible, it's taken off the tax roll.
we don't want to abate it, I don't think.
I think you just want to let it sit for another year.
Okay.
Can we just defer it until next year,
Well,
review
no,
next year?
just,
Take no action.
take no action.
Okay, informational.
Okay, lease option to renew, this is Lee Sumner for the area at the fairgrounds.
Motion from Hanson,
Second.
second from Feldheim. Any questions on that lease?
Yeah, it's another 2 years or a year? That's okay.
This is year,
5 acres.
this is
Year 2, is
15
it?
is when it started.
year 2,
3-year lease, was it?
Provides for 2 additional
second
one-year
year,
periods.
He's got one more year after this year.
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Auditor's report of accounts.
Move it.
Second.
Motion from Sutton, seconded from Fishback. Questions on that? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
There was a resolution to release property from a lien in the packet. There was a divorce involved, but the gentleman is paying the liens off. The ex-wife in the divorce received the property, but since he's paying, I didn't make reference to the divorce or anything. We're just releasing the property on condition that the lien balance remain filed against the individual. But he, the gentleman has already made $100 payment, and he promised to bring the rest in.
Where's the amount of the lien?
It was,
80 on one.
That's right here.
360.
the total,
Is it 597?
yeah, $597 was the total.
That's what the $100 payment for.
We've done this in the past. as long
It'd
as
be
it pays for the
$497
personal.
now.
Okay.
As long as we have something against it.
So 497.07 is what he has left on it
Right.
after the 100.
Yeah.
Won't lose that.
And the closing on the property, they're selling,
Oh, they're selling the
the
property?
ex-wife is selling the property, and she received the property without any encumbrances in the divorce, and all the liens were dated after the divorce. So, it's a plus he's paying it, because we would've had to release the property anyway, based on the divorce and the timing.
Okay,
Move it.
motion from Sutton,
Second.
seconded from Feldheim. Any other questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
I don't know,
Snowing again.
it's, Scott Mike's mentioned to you, and there's really nothing we can do, but Scott thought it was high, but we checked, there's nothing to do. The new insurance on the new drone camera is $900, but when you consider the camera was $12,000, so $900 premium, I don't know if that thing would ever crash. It's $1,000 deductible.
What was the premium prior to the first year? Is it increased
It's
that much?
over, it's $1,040 for the drone itself and the first camera, and that's in addition. This is just the additional premium for that new camera.
And the camera was twice as much as the drone.
Right.
So,
Yeah, 3 times.
Well, with that type of
Double
thing,
it.
I think we need insurance. I
Right,
mean,
we need
You're
insurance,
just kind
so,
of,
but I just wanted to,
Yeah.
I didn't know if Scott had mentioned anything to you, but we did, you know, there's no other place to get insurance on it, and it needs to be insured.
Thank you.
And that's all I have.
Okay. Gary, do you have anything for us?
Just one quick item, I had sent you a note to South Dakota Game Fish and Parks. I was looking to do some boat ramp improvements up at the Elm Lake, and just wanted to see if you were wanting them to move forward on preparing an access easement to that area. That's all they were needing.
and you responded to that.
Yeah, I looked at it, and it's just a policy question for you. They're wanting an easement for approximately 20 years, and you can do that. It's just a matter of whether or not you want to the 20-year easement would match what they think is the useful life of the improvements that they're gonna make.
I think the more we can do to continue to improve Elm Lake, the better it is for everybody. I'll make a motion that we move forward on that.
Second.
Motion from Sutton, seconded by
More people will
Fishbeck.
build up there.
Any
Yep.
questions on that? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
All I have.
Okay,
Do we need to do anything on the, retirement deal? That's just informational, right?
Information, that was in the packets, and then I gave you that bill that you'll turn in for the...
I did already, yep.
Yep.
What about the fair board minutes?
no.
Information.
Okay, you've already or...
This is
There's
the actual contract that he...
Yeah, I don't think we need another motion because
Okay.
this is to hire Vic Fishback to do the auction on the
Yep.
tax deed property. So I think all we need is...
Signature? Okay. You said you're good?
Yep.
Anything from the folks in attendance today? Or the commissioners? Well, thanks, Ms. Bryn, for coming to visit us. Hopefully we'll catch you on another day. School's late. I would entertain a motion. Well, did we want to adjourn for those interviews? How
Go
are we
into
gonna-
recess.
Okay. We'll be in recess until later this afternoon. We're going to do some interviews for a position with the county.
Till
Till 11.
Start at 11.
One before lunch.
Okay.
Hopefully done by 6.
Yeah. Thank you much.
Nice meeting you.
Bye, Brent.
Thank